The warning from the Home Affairs Minister, don't target our democracy. What did you make of this? I mean, in terms of a blunt warning, if you like, is China really going to listen? What's the point of the warning?
So I think it's really powerful and welcome that the Home Affairs Minister, for a couple of weeks now, has been talking more openly than we've ever had a person in her position about foreign interference. And you're right, Tom, I don't think those countries that often apply foreign interference in Australia, China, Russia, Iran and others, are going to listen to that and suddenly stop. But what is critical about this conversation is it's starting and continuing an open debate in our democracy about what foreign interference is, because ultimately the victims of foreign interference and those who have the power to stop it in Australia often sit outside government. It's state and local governments, it's community groups, it's businesses, it's ordinary voters. And if we don't have an open conversation, and if we don't have a conversation led by our senior ministers on these issues, then we're actually missing a trick. And we're not empowering our democracy to fight back, to recognise malign influence and to recognise foreign interference, and to detect and respond to it so that it doesn't harm our democracy.
The two types that we've been seeing mainly in the headlines, the sort of misinformation element, which is I suppose the biggest thing you chip away at there is trust in politics and our leaders. The other one is, direct influence and even the attempt to bankroll our own party members, seemingly by the Chinese Communist Party. How real is this threat? Because you sort of think, surely we're not going to have one day a minister that's effectively some sort of Manchurian candidate. Is it more the sort of gradual fraying away? What do you make of that more sinister threat?
I think it's both, Tom. I think influence that happens over time and shifts, for example, the parameters of discussion in a way that disadvantages us and advances a country like China, that's a problem. Funding and relationships, often undisclosed and not transparent with political figures, community leaders, business leaders, is also a problem. That is that slow burn influence that subverts our democracy over time. We also shouldn't have our eyes closed to the risk of that really pointy end of foreign interference, where you have agents of foreign governments attempting to subvert our democracy by blackmailing, coercing or otherwise interfering with opinion leaders and political leaders across our society. And this threat is real. We see at the moment an active debate in Canada over whether the Chinese Communist Party interfered in Canada's most recent federal election. We see a couple of years ago in the US, riots of people storming the Capitol, many of whom had been radicalised and motivated by mis and disinformation online. These are threats that are existential to our democracy, and they are things that every citizen of Australia should want to push back against. The beauty of our democracy is that it is ours to stuff up. It is for Australian citizens to form a view on where we should go as a nation, not politically motivated, geopolitically motivated agents of foreign governments to influence our political debates and potentially influence the outcomes of elections, major corporate decisions, and other things that are so essential to our democracy, prosperity and security.
Yeah, it's spoken about a lot, but for a good reason. It's important.